How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to the channel. Today is episode 2 of the 2JZ engine build series. Today we're going to be cleaning the crank, cleaning the cylinder walls, and I'll show you what you need to use to clean those properly. And then we will be putting the crank in the block and putting the caps on, all the bearings, stuff like that. Getting ready for next week's episode 3, where we will be putting the rings and pistons and rods and everything like that into the block itself. That way we'll get the whole bottom rotating assembly done and get that ready so we can move on to the next step. All right, let's get to it.
A few moments later.
Alright, we're going to be using this tire to set it on, and that way we don't have it on the ground and don't have to worry about it getting scratched, scraped up. And today, per what the machine shop recommended us use, we're going to use just some Dawn dish up spray. Spray it, and then use the towel and everything just to clean it off, get any of the grease or residue off. Alright everybody, we're going to get right into it. We're going to go ahead and start cleaning. These are our tools and materials that we're going to be using to clean today. We got non-chlorinated brake clean. This will be used to clean all our areas for all our bearings, as well as all our cylinder walls. And then after we clean all that, we're going to be spraying it on our rag and wiping it all down. After that, we will be using this mystery oil, and we'll put it on a rag and wipe it around every cylinder wall. And once we're done cleaning all this, and we put our polished crank back in and top everything off, torque everything down, we'll roll it over, and we'll put a bag over it and keep it from getting any dirt or any residue in it until we can get everything closed up and finalized. Alright, so let's get to it. So we'll go ahead and start on this side, and we'll start from the front all the way to the back and do all the cylinder, all the bearings first, and then we'll do the cylinder work. I did take a wire brush and cleaned all this surface off, but we're going to use this as well to clean that surface and make sure there's no residue on it. As well as doing all this, you're definitely going to want to wear some gloves just to keep your hands and stuff clean a little bit. You're definitely going to get some dirt and stuff off. That's what you want to see. That lets you know you're getting it completely clean. Doing this area on both sides, that's where your gasket sealer for an oil pan is going to be, which our oil pan is sitting right behind us. That'll help clean the surface, so when you put your sealant on and your gaskets and everything, you got a clean surface for all that. Get another rag. You don't want to keep using the same exact rag. You want to keep switching it, get a new rag at each time, that way you don't put the dirt back in. And with the brake fluid, as you can see, it's pretty dirty. With the brake fluid, it dries up pretty good, so you don't have to worry about getting wet and staying wet. Alright, we got the surface done all the way around. Now we'll do each area where your main caps are. We're going to do both. We're going to do the where your cap bearing goes, and we'll do it up on top too, just to make sure the whole area is clean. It can never be too clean, especially when you're doing this. You want to make sure it's all nice, clean. Just rolling it around, making sure that I'm using a clean part of the rag each time, and as soon as it gets dirty and there's no more clean spots, we'll go ahead and grab another one. Rinse and repeat, basically. And I'll go back through one more time and just Alright, this side's done. We'll go ahead and rotate it and do the cylinder walls. Now this, we have tape residue on the top from when we put the painter's tape on. Alright. Now let's get to the cylinder walls. This is so you don't have any kind of dirt in there. It'll help clean it out. Obviously, because it's alcohol, it will dry it out. And because it's your cylinder walls, you don't want it to be dried out. See, getting all the dirt out of it. You don't want it to be dried out forever, for too long, and then sit out and start corroding. So what we're going to do is, after we do all the cylinder walls and get them all cleaned, we'll go back with the mystery oil. Alright, there's that one. See, it's clean. There ain't nothing else in there. Nothing else in there. Nothing else in there. We got 3 more to do.
A few moments later.
Okay, you guys. Now that you seen we got the bores and everything cleaned up and ready to go, flip the block over and let's see what we're working with. Okay, we got King Racing bearings, main bearings, and then we got Clevitt thrust washers. Here's the part number for you guys if you guys decide to use these. That's your thrust washers. And then let it focus a little bit. And that right there is your main bearings. Alright, so get these out of the way. Now I have the main bolts just soaking in some motor oil for right now. And that's just so when we go to put those in, torque them down, they'll go nice and easy, smooth. But we'll go ahead and get this stuff open. Here's our Permatex Ultra Slick Assembly Lube. There's your part number. This stuff, everybody I've seen building engines, especially TJs and stuff, most of them use this. A lot of people recommend this, so we're going to go ahead and use that. And this is our paint pen we're going to be using so we can mark our bolts when we go ahead and put these in here and torque them down. And when we go to do that, I will actually post some pictures from the Toyota page or whatever to show the torque specs or what we're going to be doing there. So we're going to jump into this and let's get to it. Okay, so I just realized, should have known this a minute ago, on the bearings you have your upper and lower, but for these it has 1 through 7, 1 through 8, but obviously this is only 7, so you don't need that one. So you got 1 through 7, 1 through 7 for your top and your bottom. That way you know which ones will go where. And then this one right here with the slots, see that with the slots in there. This will actually go on the block side, and then your solid pieces, that will go on your cap side. So since these are already clean, these are good to go. What we're going to go ahead and do is put all these in, lube them, set our crank in, and go on from there. Now these do have a tooth, little notch on them. This one is on the back side and all of these are on the front side. That's how you know it's in the right spot. If the tooth don't match up, it definitely ain't gonna work. So we just slide it in the tooth right here and then pop her down. All right. Okay, now that we got all these caps in, let's go ahead and make sure this is open. Nope, it's closed. We're just going to put a nice amount of lube on every one of these, and we'll go ahead and take our nicely polished balanced crank and go ahead and slide her on in. Definitely want to have some gloves on when doing this. Okay, now that we got the center cap in with the thrust washers, we'll go ahead and assemble the rest of them. And then I'll get back with you here in a little bit when we got all that ready. And let's talk about the bolts. everybody. So now we're going to go ahead and put the bolts in. I have them sitting over here just soaking the threads in a little bit of motor oil. Nothing too special, really. Just trying to keep them lubricated, make it easier to go in. Once we start torquing these down, these are all right now just going to be hand tight, just to start. But once we do start torquing them, there's going to be a particular order that we have to torque them. And also, we got to torque them to 33 foot-pounds or 44 Newton meters. And our torque wrench, we have it sitting over here on the side. That's I already preset it a while ago to 44. Yeah, I already preset it to 44, so we'll go ahead and get that started, and I'll show you what that's like and how we do it. All right, we'll jump right to it. Okay, as you saw in the previous speed reel, we went ahead and hand tightened it with the ratchet. Now we're going to go back and torque them down. And I'm going to put a clip in right here. That is to show what numerical order we have to go in when torquing it. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we'll go all the way down, or all the way up to 33 foot-pounds or 44 newton meters. My torque wrench is a manual one, and we have it set, I don't know if it'll focus, but we have it set at 33 foot-pounds. This one don't have newton meters, so we'll do that. And after we get them all torqued down, then we'll go ahead and put the paint little mark on it, and then we'll go on to the next step after we get the torque done. All right, let's get to it. Okay, as you saw in the little clip here a second ago, we got done torquing it down to 33 foot-pounds. And now you can see I put marks with a paint pen on all these main cap bolts. Now all these, Toyota says to have them facing forward, and then we're going to take the breaker bar, and Toyota wants you to put it on here and turn it 90 degrees, and then you'll be done with all the main cap bolts. And I'll post a picture, that way you can see what I'm talking about. Alright you guys, sorry about that. After I turned the bolts to 90 degrees, you can see how it's turned through the bag. I turned them with a breaker bar 90 degrees in the same order as we torqued them. And then after that, went ahead and put a bag over this just to cover it from any debris or anything getting in since we cleaned it. Hey y'all, thanks for tuning in to today's episode. The battery died on the phone, that's why I wasn't able to get the 90 degree turns. But we did do it in the same sequence in order as we torqued them. Next weekend we will be doing the rods, pistons, the rings, rod bearings, and putting those in and completing the rotating assembly. I'm just missing a ring compressor and a ring spreader tool. I have everything but those, so we'll get those and we'll get this going. Thanks again for tuning in. Hope you liked what you saw. Hope it kind of helps you out with any builds you plan on doing. Please like, tag, and subscribe if you haven't yet, or if you're new here. Thanks for joining. Hopefully you liked the video. Comment if you can. Let me know what you'd like to see next in this build series. But thanks again. God bless. Have a wonderful weekend.